And then you have what the reality of the marketplace for the most part. And if you want to go back 25 years before PCGS and NGC, you had the Wild West, as he was describing. And I think things do adjust. And I think the grading services do take coins off the market. I know I do all the time. And there's the experts that you brought to examine and vet your Chinese paintings are PCGS and NGC in the coin business. Because there's a freaking gray area here. And that gray area is determined whether it's acceptable or not by PCGS and NGC. And say what you will, over time, the coin market has grown to this multi-billion-dollar industry. There's collectors that come in that spend hundreds of thousands on coins that were $11,000. And the market has expanded because of the comfort level, because we have a population report, because we built registries, because David is a brilliant marketer, because we back it up. So you can go on and on and on about all this coin doctrine, but it's a minuscule, it has a minuscule impact when you talk about it in realistic terms, because we make the call on what that gray area is, for better or for worse. You can say, I don't like this, I don't like that, but the reality of the marketplace is it's gigantic, and we are the ones who make that call. So that's the bottom line.
And Joe, you know, Mark and I care about the issue as much as anybody because we have financial, a position on the line. Literally, our cash comes out. He's bought back coins. We've bought back $8 million worth of coins in 25 years. We would want your help, as I know you know that we do. And contrary to rumors about me and Mark, it wasn't Albanese and him that were lovers, but Mark and I are lovers. we
have that on tape.
We do secretly call each other. And what do we talk about 90% of the time? Coin doctoring. Mark, what do you see? Hey, did you see this deal now? And what about this coin? And we talk to each other about it all the time. So we would say to you, while we might not disagree with 100% of the coins, like you and I had a discussion about one particular coin recently, okay? But we would say to you, help us, because we hate it more than anybody, because it costs us money.
Yeah, true.
But, and it destroys, and you're right, it destroys coins forever. So help Mark, help me.
I'm going to tell you something you might not want to take. The one person that will buy coins back is John. And it doesn't take a long time, and he does do it. And he's bought back every single coin they've shown him. And sometimes he's wondered why they came in. So I think that there's a matter of how much do you tolerate. And if you're buying coins, you do have to tolerate a certain amount of doctoring. Because even there's a lot of things that have just been touched up minorly. And it's a matter of what will I accept for, what are my other choices. I'd love every coin to look like the 1805. He showed me, that Bill showed me before. Stunning, beautiful, or like the 1829 5 proof or not proof, for an early gold coin. But nothing looks like that anymore.
There's a difference between, I buy back coins all the time. I get them back. I go to auctions and look at coins. Removing a sticker and buying a coin back are way different things.
Certainly, I understand this. Okay, but you're still talking about a difference in value. So let's look at this.
Joe, did we go through this the other day?
Probably.
No,
Probably
did
14
not?
times.
I'm quite certain this is.
No, maybe not.
And I don't mean to make any thought of this moot. They're working on it, and they're working on it at a feverish. They're working on it around the clock.
It's Scalati grass.
The bottom line to it is that they've got to start off with the basics, and they've got to come up with what is the most criminal, and then somewhere along the line.
Are you talking about the definition?
The definition.
Yeah.
Simply.
It-
They're working on it.
And both of us are
that's what we went
chasing
through the other day, and-
technological
David,
solutions.
David, 1 second. And it ended up in a tirade by Mark. And I could understand Mark's frustration, but it just has to be made in the most simplistic fashion. This is criminal, and let's start off with A, B, C, And then after we get the ABCs and everybody's egos out of the way, there's one ego, not in this room.
So let me just,
Mark,
let
Mark,
me,
Mark,
no,
Mark,
wait.
I'm trying to help you.
No, I appreciate it. I know what you're doing. Let's just end this by ending it with like this positive thing, okay? Here, there's a symptom for any valuable collectible. Chinese paintings, people are counterfeiting them because they're worth tens of millions of dollars in some cases. People are trying to deceive the grading services because coins are so valuable. The market has expanded. There's billion-dollar collectors. There's $100 million collections out there. Can we just put things in perspective? There's going to be issues, and there's going to continue to be issues. And I'm very sensitive to these things. David's very sensitive to it. You know, there's going to be things that you make mistakes on, I make mistakes on. We have a system that does a pretty damn good job. And as I started off saying this week, an ancient coin's traded for $3.4 million. It's supposed to bring 600,000. It's starting. We're becoming an emerging asset class. There's more and more collectors worldwide. David just announced he's going to open an office in Asia. We have office in Switzerland and in Asia as well. You know, I think the times are good. I think it's very positive. And these are just symptoms. And we're dealing with them on a daily basis. Anyway, that's how I like to end things. Thank you very much.
Thank you. One really important question because of this passion that you have for collectibles. Can you share with us some of the other things that you collect? So really, just a brief,
I collect California Impressionism, turn of the century, 1910 to 1930. It's called plein air. It's a French term for painting outside. They're historical paintings from California. And I have a major collection of these that I started when I was in Newport Beach. I fell in love with the colors, the light, and the sketchiness and the rawness of the paintings. And I'm very focused on just a few particular areas. Coins, world coins, I have some ancients now. I collect Martin Brothers, which is a ceramic made by four brothers in London who had their shop next to an opium den, and they made some incredible things. I continue to build that. David's a big fan of those. I collect wine. I have some glass and pottery and American arts and crafts. Boy, I need some help, don't I?
So can I ask a question about world coins versus U.S. coins?
Yeah.
From my kind of limited knowledge base, it seems as if the U.S. market is much more efficient. Both of you exist to sort of...
Can I have your water?
Yeah, please. To sort of, you know, fine-tune what grade the coins are, and you know, whereas in the world it seems as if it's almost like it's much more of an open area, like it was 10 to 15 years ago, in terms before all the grading services were in looking at everything. Is it as big of an opportunity to just put U.S. coins aside and just go and focus on just going and finding the great non-U.S. coins,
first
or is
of all,
it just a kind of a side?
First of all, in my opinion, because I have an expert that helps me, that guides me. His name is Ken Cross, one of the most brilliant numismatists I've ever met. Not only is he extraordinary in the U.S., but he knows 100 different countries. Remarkable. So he's helped me. But the one thing that I've learned is that world coins were used much more than U.S. They were not saved. There wasn't a lot of collectors. I think because the lack of prosperity, lack of wealth.
There were kings and dukes, right?
And you know, they were actually worn. So you find very few high-end world coins. However, if you apply the grading standard, the whole idea of certification to world coins, and you couple that with the auctions, eventually, it took 10 years, dealers realized they should get the coin certified, they should put it in auction because it brings 5 times as much. You see, there's a correlation between the wealth of a country and our submissions. So you have India, you have China, you have South America, heavy submissions. coming in, and we haven't even applied the registry component to that. That's very exciting, in my opinion, because of the diversification it offers to a grading service. But not only that, it broadens the whole coin market in general, because the Chinese are buying Mexican 8 reals. They're starting to look at high-powered U.S. coins. They love gold, they love silver, and they're acquiring it. So when I see data points like an ancient bringing 3.4 million, that says to me that we're sort of converging on the art world, where things are bringing these crazy numbers that antiquities bring, or French Impressionism brings, and the best things like Tiffany glass or great jewelry that are being purchased now by